You count on Native America Calling for timely and entertaining conversations every day. Now, Native America Calling is counting on you. We are ending the year with a fundraising drive to keep the conversations going. And when you make a donation of any amount between now and the end of the drive, December 31st, you'll be entered to win 2 Alaska Airlines tickets as our thank you for supporting Native America Calling. Go to nativeamericacalling.com and click on the button that says Donate Today. Welcome to Native America Calling. I'm Sean Spruce. Did you sit down with Ken Pomeroy's melancholy Americana sound this year? Or did you prefer the continent-skipping indigenous doom metal from Divide and Dissolve? Or maybe Jared Tate's string quartet song interpretations inspired by Chickasaw melodies? 2025 gave us a lot of exceptional Native music to choose from, some traditional and some decidedly cutting edge. We'll look back on the year in new music, getting reminders of the artists we talked to, as well as some that we haven't gotten to yet. We'll hear about it right after the news.
This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. It's official. With the swipe of President Donald Trump's pen, North Carolina's Lumbee tribe is now the 575th federally recognized tribe in the U.S. Correspondent Matt Laszlo has the story from Washington.
Dozens of members of the Lumbee tribe traveled from North Carolina to Washington to be a part of history this week. Tears were heard in the gallery after the U.S. Senate approved the measure granting the Lumbee federal recognition on Wednesday. And after President Donald Trump signed it into law Thursday, Lumbee Chairman John Lowry could barely contain his joy.
Joy cometh in the morning, and our joy is here. It's here. We finally achieved what our ancestors fought so long and so hard to achieve.
There are roughly 60,000 members of the Lumbee, making it the largest Native American tribe east of the Mississippi River. North Carolina officials recognized the tribe after the Civil War in 1885. But not federal officials. North Carolina Republican Senator Thom Tillis has helped lead the fight in the Senate in recent years.
Yeah, we're a little bit excited. After 137 years on their part, about 40 years on Senate members' part, it's good to see it get done.
Tillis is retiring at the end of his term next year, but he says the decade-long battle for federal recognition for the Lumbee shows Washington isn't totally broken. Even if the tribe and North Carolina lawmakers fought an uphill battle for years now.
A lot of educating and just prioritize. It's the way Congress works, right? You use leverage, you have discussions, you build a case. I think that's what happened. I really appreciate the delegation. This was a well-coordinated effort.
Back in 1956, Congress partially recognized the Lumbee, but that left the tribe locked out of federal health services. And it meant the tribe couldn't operate casinos or marijuana dispensaries like other tribes. Chairman Lowry says it's a new day for the Lumbee.
The 1956 Act, which left us in legal limbo, is now erased. It is no more. And we are now fully, fairly recognized.
The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians fought the federal recognition of the Lumbee, which passed as a part of an annual $900 billion defense authorization bill. For National Native News, Matt Laszlo in Washington.
This week, the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation in Kansas issued a statement to its tribal members about an ICE contract after the deal was met with public scrutiny. In a video statement, Chairman Joseph Rupnick said the nation has fully divested from the contract.
As a result, Prairie Band LLC is no longer a direct or indirect owner or participant in or otherwise affiliated with any ICE projects, contracts, or operations. In our next General Council meeting in January, Tribal Council plans to further address the steps we will take to ensure that our nation's economic interests do not come into conflict with our values in the future.
Tribal citizens from across the U.S. have raised concerns about the Trump administration's immigration policies. Native people have also reported being confronted by ICE, including actress Elaine Miles sharing her story with media outlets about her encounter in November. Meanwhile, U.S. Senator Brian Schatz, Vice Chair of the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs, U.S. Senator Patty Murray, Vice Chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee, and 10 of their Senate colleagues recently sent a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem about reports of ICE encounters with tribal citizens. They're urging her to develop policies and trainings to recognize tribal IDs. They're requesting a response by January 11th. I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced by Koahnic Broadcast Corporation with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
The Indian Arts and Crafts Board promotes Indian artists of federally recognized tribes through its online source directory. Information on this no-charge opportunity available at doi.gov/IACB, who support this program. Support by Sonosky Chambers Law, championing tribal sovereignty and Native American rights since 1976. From opioids litigation to treaty rights to tribal self-governance. With offices in Washington, D.C., New Mexico, California, and Alaska. Sonosky Chambers Law.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.
This is Native America Calling. I'm Sean Spruce. This year we listened to music from the soft American melodies of Cherokee songwriter Ken Pomeroy to the bluesy twist on a powwow song by First Nations group Northern Cree. Chickasaw composer Jared Tate infused his own tribe songs and culture into a new classical chamber music album. From pop to soul to rock and more, Native musicians are making names for themselves across many genres. Today we're going to get reflections from our music experts on some favorite Native artists from the year. We'll be joined by hosts of Native Voice One's The Mainstream and Indigenous in Music, as well as a music host on Seattle radio station KEXP. We also want to hear from you today, our listeners. Who are the Native musicians that made your favorite music this year? You can join us with comments or questions by calling 1-800-996-2848. That number is also 1-800-99-NATIVE. And you can also comment about your favorite Native artists on our website and social media pages. All of our guests today are speaking with us on Zoom. Joining us from Seattle, Washington is Tori J. He is the host of Sounds of Survivance on Seattle radio station KEXP and recently received his PhD in Native American Studies at UC Davis. He is Quinault. Tori, good morning, and welcome back to Native America Calling.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Joining us from the Allegheny Territory in Salamanca, New York, is Brett Maybe. He is the host of The Mainstream, Gaino, and Full Moon Radio. He is also a multi-instrumentalist and singer-songwriter. He is Seneca. Brett, hello, and welcome back to Native America Calling.
Going on, Sean. It's good to be here today, and thank you so much for the invitation.
And joining us from Bradenton, Florida is Larry Kay. He is the CEO and program host of Indigenous in Music. He is Ho-Chunk. Larry, welcome back to Native America Calling. Great to have you on the show, too.
Hi, Sean. How you doing today? Good to be back. And
I'm doing great.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to the weekend and so happy to have all of you on the show today to recap the year 2025 in music. Tori, I want to begin with you. What music played on Sounds of Survivance from this year stands out?
Oh, that's a big question because it's been such a wonderful year for Indigenous music, and amidst one of the best times in history to be into Indigenous music. But some of my favorites of the year are from the doom metal band Divide and Dissolve, the Yolngu and Badu Islander soul singer Keon from Indigenous Australia, the Seattle local band representing Slinket Haida and Siksika relatives Ku'ik with their album Red Cedar and the Hour of Chaos, I really loved Ribbon Skirt, the Anishinaabe-led group from Montreal. And as you mentioned, I was really loving the Woodland Songs album composed by Jared Tate, but performed by Dover Quartet.
You mentioned Kian. Let's start there. One of your favorite artists this year, Australian Aboriginal soul and pop artist. How did she end up on your radar?
Yeah, just doing research for the show, and she was featured in some like international collaborations, particularly with First Nations musicians in Canada. But she's been on my radar since I started at KEXP because she just has this really amazing soulful voice. Like I make it pretty clear to listeners and to friends and family that I'm like a metalhead, but I actually have a huge soft spot in my heart for like a soulful soul and R&B singer like Kian. And this her mini EP that she released this year, For Me, For You, has just these really dense collaborations with like the incredible virtuosic musicians in Australia's jazz and sort of neo soul scene.
Well, let's listen to a track. This song is titled Heavy. That was the song Heavy from Kian, Australian Aboriginal soul and pop artist. Beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful track. Tori J, thank you so much for recommending that. And we're going to play some more music here shortly. But first, I want to ask you about the rise of AI-generated music on streaming platforms, because this year it has just blown it up. One poll found that 50,000 AI songs are uploaded daily to a major streaming service. Tori, what's going to happen here? How will AI change how we consume music?
Yeah, and I think that when it comes to native music specifically, I'm an optimist, but I feel like it won't change much. And I say that like while listening back to that song by Kian, like it puts me in such a good place, and like it's kind of impossible for me to be in a bad mood after listening to it. And it sort of reflects to me this ethic that lives in Indigenous music, as far as I've been able to sort of discover over the past couple of years I've been at KEXP. Like we really show up for each other. And, like I'm somebody who's, I would say like an AI skeptic. Like I do really like believe and champion the human component of music making. But to be honest, I'm not really that worried about that sort of taking over, particularly the Indigenous music scene, because the artists that we play on our show, and I would also argue all of the artists that we're going to listen to today, like, have that sort of tap into the sacred. And I think that that's something that's it's not an essentialist thing that Indigenous peoples just have. It's a thing that Indigenous peoples do by nature of our connection to music and sound in that way. That's been a practice and a process that we've carried forward for thousands of years. And so, yeah, I have concerns about AI, particularly about like the environmental concerns and just like how it feeds into music streaming capital and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, I think that the work that all of us as champions of Indigenous music are doing, like, that's not going to go away. And I think that like the ethic is there in the artistry and in our curation of that artistry as Native people.
Tori, what do you think, though, could be the ultimate influence on musicians and just people who take up the craft, people who learn to play instruments, people who learn to sing and songwrite, when they can just go to an app and create a song in 5 minutes? Do you worry that it could just stifle creativity and just discourage people from actually wanting to be real musicians?
I think that's a possibility, sure. But and this is kind of a funny plug, but there's a video on this by one of my favorite music theory YouTubers named Adam Neely. And he talks about, the video is titled like why AI or why music will not fail the AI Turing test. That's probably not what the title is, but but it's something like that. And his argument,
paraphrasing, sure.
Yeah. And his argument is that creating music, the actual process of creating music, like that's sort of where the essence lives, right? Like maybe I'm a romantic or maybe I'm an optimist, but like I think that there is something there's an intrinsic value in the process of creating music and practicing music and being with musicians who have worked on their craft to create something together. And I think that like just because we can potentially through the use of AI, like streamline making music and make music, without humans. I think that if anything would just be a separate process that's not, that doesn't completely subsume the actual process of making music together.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. We're going to continue today's show and our conversations with Native DJs, and we're going to play a lot more music. And I promise none of these songs that we're going to play today will be AI generated. They will all be actual live, real Native musicians who will be showcasing their sound with us today on the show. And we've got the phone lines open, of course, for listeners who would like to chime into this conversation. Tell us about the Native artists that you enjoyed listening to this year. Who was on your playlist? You can do that by calling 1-800-996-2848 or just 1-800-99-NATIVE. Give us a call. We've got the phone lines open, and we're waiting for you. From the release of jailed activist Leonard Peltier in January to this week's historic vote to formally recognize North Carolina's Lumbee tribe, 2025 was full of major events with profound implications for Native Americans. We'll sit down with our panel of experts to review the top moments from the year and gauge how they might play out in history. That's on the next Native America Calling.
Repatriation is the return of ancestors and stolen culture. The Association on American Indian Affairs is hosting the 11th annual Repatriation Conference, Feeding the Fire, Advancing the Movement, in February 2026. This fully virtual conference will offer small group interactive workshops, strategies, networking, and more to advance domestic and international repatriation. More at Indian-Affairs.org. The association supports this show.
Thank you for listening to Native America Calling. We're hearing favorite tracks by Native artists from a group of expert Native DJs. You can join us by telling us your favorite song from 2025 by a Native artist. Just call us at 1-800-996-2848. That's also 1-800-99-NATIVE. You can also hear more Native programming by downloading the Native Voice One app. Our first guest, Tori J., is the host of Sounds of Survivance on Seattle radio station KEXP. And Tori, let's go back to Australia and hear about an experimental metal band. They are based there named Divide and Dissolve. The band is led by a Black and Cherokee composer. And here's a sample off one of their instrumental tracks titled Provenance. This comes from their new album, Insatiable. That's the song Provenance from the band Divide and Dissolve. And Tori, you hosted Divide and Dissolve for a KEXP video performance. How was that received?
Oh, that to this day is still one of my favorite things that I've done at the station. I really adore that band, and but also just I had so much fun chatting with Takia about her compositional process. Like, it was so inspiring to me to chat with her about dreams, and especially how the music and the dreaming and those knowledge systems sort of inform the ethic of the band, which, and I said this during the interview, but I sometimes just read their statements verbatim just because they're so anti-colonial and very steadfast in that ethic of building a world of love amidst a world of violence, right?
Well, it's a great sound, and we already have a caller on the line. This is Mantha, who is listening on KNBA Radio in Anchorage, Alaska. Good morning, Mantha. You're on the air.
Good morning. Hi, Sean. First of all, thanks for having me. I listen to Native America Calling almost every morning when I drive into work, and I love to hear all the stuff about music and film because I work at a music and film studio here in Anchorage, Alaska, and I have the honor of working with Derek Hawkes, who is a Lakota engineer and drummer here and a good friend of mine at the studio. And I just, when I was hearing the theme for today, I just knew I really wanted to give him a shout out for the great work that he's been doing. He would never put himself forward, but because he's so humble. But he has been doing so much great work in the past few years, supporting Native artists. He is a Native artist himself. So, for example, earlier this year, he went on tour with Yatseen, which is Nicholas Galanan's band. He went on tour with Yatseen and Portugal the Man, and he's engineered some sessions for Yatseen's upcoming album and played drums with him. He also co-produced Woody Young Man's new EP, which is a beautiful EP. Woody Young Man is also native, based here in Anchorage, Alaska, and their new album or their EP centers themes of missing and murdered Indigenous people and community, and just kind of like a lot of those topics. It's a really beautiful EP. He also plays drums with Brother Buffalo and a lot of other stuff. I just wanted to give Derek Hawkes a shout out. Yeah,
Mantha, thank you so much for calling. Glad you love the show and you tune in daily, and really appreciate you got a lot of knowledge, not just the Anchorage music scene, but elsewhere as well. So really appreciate you joining the conversation. And let's bring Brett Maybe into the conversation now. We need to hear Brett's perspective. He, of course, is in Salamanca, New York, which is Allegheny territory for Seneca Nation. And Brett, what trends did you find on the native music scene this year?
Yeah, as far as some of the trends, I don't know. I see a diversifying of a lot of different genres, which I'm really excited about. A lot of collaborations as well, and I'm glad that Yatseen was brought up because that was one of my picks for the playlist this year, and particularly the song that's going to be featured on Stand On My Shoulders with Portugal the Man, but not only them, but like Michel Nadigacello, one of the all-time greatest bass players out there. So really cool things, and I that was one of the criteria when I was trying to select the songs for today's playlist. But they couldn't be artists that I featured last year, so that knocks out Kuik, that knocks out Molly O'Bomswin and Samantha Crane. But collaboration is kind of a theme that I've been really big on throughout 2025 and looking forward to in 2026 as well.
Well, one group that was able to make your list this year is a collaboration that Northern Cree put out with blues group Blue Moon Marquee. Now, before we play this song, Brett, tell us about Northern Cree.
Yeah, Northern Cree. I mean, they're one of the most iconic powwow groups of all time. I do believe, well, I know they've won Junos, I think Grammys as well. And Blue Moon Marquee is also one of my favorite artists as they bring in that old kind of stompy retro sound. They've recorded with Duke Robillard and live down in New Orleans and things like that. So Northern Cree is really exciting because from there you get, Dallas and Fawn Wood, Tia Wood, who is now really breaking out on her own as well. So certainly there are probably no more iconic, and no offense to any other powwow groups out there, but they really are a household name,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, let's listen to Put Your Feathers On.
Get them ready.
We go dance till
That was Blue Marquis and Northern Cree on a single they put out titled Put Your Feathers On. And Brett, I like that sound. That is a really cool, I've never heard Northern Cree backed up like that with a guitar like that. So that was a hot track, really nice. And as long as we're talking about Canada, you put a song off the Indigenous musical Bear Grease on your list this year. And I had a chance to see Bear Grease, not this past summer, but the summer before during Indian Market in Santa Fe. And give us a little more background on that musical. And is it changing since it first came out? Because it's a few years old now.
It is a few years old. And of course, they toured throughout Canada for that first couple of years. But they also did an off-Broadway run over the summer as well. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it down. I'm super jealous that you did get to see the show because it looks like a lot of fun. And for anybody who isn't aware of what Bear Grease is, where have you been? No, it's a fun indigenizing version of the iconic 70s musical Grease, which I actually only saw for the first time last year as well, too, but a lot of fun. And yeah, it has changed a little bit. I do believe that Melody MacArthur, who was playing the role of Sandy, is now focusing a little bit more on her solo output, which I'm also excited about. So I think I saw an announcement of a new Sandy in the cast as well.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye out for that for sure. Now, let's hear another song, Brett, that made your list. This is titled Stranger by Cherokee Nation citizen Ken Pomeroy off her new album, Cruel Joke. We'll take a listen and talk about it a little bit.
The wind keeps on hitting me like my mother used to. Unlike her, I feel like it doesn't want to. For the first time in a long time, I allowed the awkward silence. Oh, I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. Driving home from a studio that's unfamiliar, I just cried in front of friends and a stranger. I'm the stranger, 'cause I haven't cried in front of myself, let alone someone else. Oh, I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna.
That was Stranger by Cherokee Nation citizen Ken Pomeroy. And Ken, Brett, let's talk more about Ken Pomeroy, because she's really made a big splash on the national stage, and some people might recognize her music from Reservation Dogs. What do you like about that song in particular, and where do you see her career going?
Oh, wow. Yeah, her voice alone, I think, can really uplift anybody's spirit, even if it elicits a few tears as well. Such a beautiful voice. And I actually became aware of her work through Sterling Harjo talking her up, as well as he, as you just mentioned, has featured her in his projects. And I only see her going up from here. I mean, or as far as she wants to take it for that matter. I mean, really hitting the scene strong and just says more with her voice and an acoustic guitar than I think most people do with multiple voices and lush arrangements or anything like that, you know. So I think she has what it takes to really be around for a long time.
We had her on the show not too long ago, and we were able to listen to more of her music. And yeah, just a fantastic artist, absolutely amazing. And Brett, I want to ask you about the defunding of public radio, because that had a big, big impact, not only on our show, but a lot of our partnering stations as well. And I'm curious to know the effect that might have on Native music. Do you think there's an impact there? And what do we have to think about in regard to choices when it comes to music sources?
Well, I do think it'll obviously have a ripple. I mean, we're weathering the storm as we speak right now, even though the future seems a little bit uncertain. But, if I'm being perfectly honest, there's already been less support for Native art and Native music in this country than, say, in Canada, where they have made these grants available for over a decade now. And as a result of that, you've seen a tremendous blossoming of the scene and bringing a lot of diverse voices in. So, I'm a little apprehensive. I don't think, anybody could really say that they're not. It is a shame that there has been a focus taken off of public radio. But on the same token, I also think it highlights, whether they realize it or not, the proverbial they, that really radio is an important medium. And if it wasn't, I don't think there would be any attempts to silence these voices. So, kind of even going back to what you were asking Tori about AI discouraging young people about playing music and things like that. I think we live in a society with endless distractions, and that's already done a tremendous amount of harm, seeing the younger generation bringing and picking up instruments and whatnot. So yeah, it's just another element that's added on. But I do know that when times get tough, the arts have a way of really thriving. And I think looking at it through that lens, the best days of Indigenous music are yet to come.
All right. I like that attitude, Brett. We're going to take another break. We'll come back, and we've got Larry Kay on the show as well, and he's going to share some music as well as some insights from 2025. So stay with us. We will be right back.
Support from Clarkson Potter, publisher of Turtle Island, Foods and Traditions of the Indigenous Peoples of North America by Native American chef Sean Sherman. With ancestral and modern recipes, this cookbook showcases diverse foodways of the continent's regions.
Ready to expand your reach and inspire change? Kaufman & Associates crafts culturally grounded communication strategies for Native audiences. More at kaufmaninc.com, KAUFFMANINC.com.
You are listening to Native America Calling. We're running down our list of Native music in 2025. Let us know your favorite artists from this year. You can do that by posting on our website and social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads. Larry Kay is the CEO and program host of Indigenous in Music. He joins us now from Bradenton, Florida. And Larry Kay, I need to congratulate you. You're coming up on your 20th anniversary on radio. How are you reflecting on this experience? And did you think of this as a long-term project in the very beginning?
No, not at all. It all started, I was a music promoter back in the day in Minneapolis. All my friends were playing on stage, and nobody was promoting their music. So I got them on stage in downtown Minneapolis and did music reviews for them. And then I started doing interviews. So it kind of sparked with a cause for interviews and just promote my friends. And then at a point I moved to Florida, and then the show took off. Geez, we went from one station, now we're over 100 stations, and every day we're getting more. So I never thought it would grow like this, and it is a passion. So I really enjoy playing music. I do interviews on every show. And it's just a matter of helping the underdog, getting their music out there on a national audience. And I'm happy to keep doing it. And as long as my voice don't get old, I think we're good to go for another 10, 20 years.
Right. Well, let's start off with a track that you recommended. It's titled Little Brother by Diné artist Hatathli. We'll listen to it, and then you can tell us more about it.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, stay here. Little brother, little brother, walk right.
Hitotley's new album, I'll Be Around. And that is a good sound there, Larry. Definitely brings back a lot of memories of my childhood, that kind of music. Now, you've had him on your show before. What do you like most about Hitotley's music, his sound?
Well, he's changing. I feel he was just on my show a few weeks ago, and I asked him about the change, and he's kind of went from like a rock, soft rock, pop. Now he's in tinkering around with country, and I like it. I kind of feel there's a little trend going into the country rock arena because he's jumping on board, and I think he's only like 23, 24, and I really like this new album. His two previous albums that I promote a lot are more on a rock theme, and so he's bent the rules, and he's jumping into the new country arena. So I'm happy to hear it, and I'm playing a lot more country nowadays. I kind of feel there's a trend going in that direction. 20 years ago, you couldn't catch me hearing playing country or even hip hop, and now that my show has kind of been overwhelmed by both. But every album's got your favorite songs. His new album, Little Brother, was one of my favorites. I've been playing a lot of it lately. So yeah, enjoy that one.
Yeah, for sure. Now, throughout your career, you have worked really hard to uplift Native musicians from promoting and also your DJing. What are some positions that you would like to see Native people take on in the music industry?
Well, I discovered we need some more American publicists down here in the USA. I'm not sure if my fans know it, but about 75% of my music comes from Canada. And the reason being is they have a stream of publicists that are pushing their music. Every day I turn on my email and bam, there we go, more musicians coming in. So yeah, it's like to see more publicists down here. We've only had a few in the past to begin with, and they've retired, and now we're at zero. So if somebody's interested, there's an opportunity for some money making there, and promoting. We need more promoters out there. I see we have very few. We have a young gentleman down, again, a Navajo man, Deaf Eye. He's out there promoting the heck out of bands and doing a lot of collaborations down there in the New Mexico area. So yeah, we need more promoters, some publicists. Canada does a great job. I congratulate the leaders up there for the grant making that they give, a lot of giving, and we need to do some more of that down here in the USA. Some more, see how we can bring awareness to the fact that we don't have that array of publicists down here, and maybe we can get some grants going or get the nonprofits motivated to perform in our area, in our arena, and supply us with some grants. That would be nice.
Yeah, it sure would. Let's hear some more music from Canada, as long as we're talking about our family, our relations north of the medicine line there. This is First Nations artist Rhonda Head. And Larry, give us a brief intro before we play this song.
Sure. She's a powerful Cree singer, songwriter. She's been around the block for many years now, and she's got a beautiful voice, deeply moving music that she puts out. And Iskweewuk is her new hit that she's performing out there, and you'll like it.
If I didn't know pain, I wouldn't know beauty. Can't hate so much, but love even more. Through the hurt and the pain, we birth life again. Maybe that's what we're put here for. Iskweewuk, strong. Medunisa Loving and beautiful, loving and beautiful. Loving is beautiful, loving is beautiful.
Yeah.
That was First Nations artist Rhonda Head. And Larry, another one of your projects that really interests me a lot is a project you're doing. You're looking to pay homage to the late Dene musician and leader of the band Exit, Tom B. Tell us more about that and what Tom B means to you, because he sure did make a big impact on the Native music scene.
Oh man, I keep thinking about him. I play a lot of his music. I just don't want his legend to ever be forgotten. Me and him were good friends at the end, and he called me up, and I got him on the show. We did a interview with him, and boy, it was a learning lesson. I learned a lot about his history. He went back to where he was the first American Indian to ever have be signed to a record label, Motown, and then the government shot him down, and he continued to play music. Motown sent him over to Europe, and they performed well over there, and the sales never fell. So Motown did a good job. They kept him strong, but my job is to keep Tom's music and legend strong and never be forgotten. It's just something. It's an honor to have spoken with him. I wanted to get him on the show for one more interview, and then the bad news came in that he passed on. So it's like we never got to finish the story. So today I just keep playing the music, and people are forgetting about him as we speak. So it's like I've been trying to do a concert maybe, or a collaboration, an album where people can put music out for him. So the story's going to continue. I got a plan to possibly maybe do a couple of concerts out there for him, and get the bands to perform his music. But some of these new bands don't know who he is, so it's like it's our job to keep his music strong.
Right.
So I'm
absolutely. Yeah.
Always continue. Tom B. Oh yeah.
You got it, brother. Yes. Tori, I want to come back to you here as we begin to wind down the show, because I just congratulated Larry on his 20th anniversary in radio. And brother, I owe you some congratulations as well, because you just earned your PhD in Native American Studies. Tell us about the focus of your doctorate, and as well as how you're balancing all these interests: DJing, scholarship, songwriting. You're doing it all.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much. It means a lot to hear that. It was 6 years of work. I started grad school in 2019. But, when I think about my scholarship and the DJing and my guitar playing and my coming from Taholah on the mouth of the Quinault River, like none of that stuff is separate to me, and because the field of Native studies is so interdisciplinary, a huge part of my research paradigm involves Indigenous sound and music studies. So historicizing and doing analytical work for Indigenous music histories, recognizing the metaphysical, philosophical ways of knowing and ways of doing sound that our ancestors have done and that we carry forward in all that we do. Mobilizing Coast Salish logics of sound, because I'm Quinault, which is considered Coast Salish, and thinking about how sound is tied to our water systems and our water knowledges and the ways that we make relations to the human and more than human here in the North Pacific. All of these things are not just my interests, but the things that mobilize just my life, they're things that I feel and I do and I work through in my spirit. And yeah, it just so happens that the field of Native studies is conducive to doing the intellectual labor of that. And so it's such a wonderful feeling to be able to just go and do these things, right? And I owe a huge a debt of gratitude to my mentor and colleague, Jessica Bissett Perea, the Alaska Native musicologist. She's Dena'ina specifically, but she's the one that kind of showed me that all of these questions of groove and timing and sound and knowledge, like they're things that we can that we can share with each other in this intellectual space, but also just to I guess the thing I'm always quoting from her is she always says that music does things. And I hope that the show today, for all of the listeners out there, has shown that. Like, it makes relations across time. It does things outside of its analytical content. And it's a deeply human and communal thing that exists outside of these infrastructures of technology and AI that we've talked about today. I'm so glad that we talked about that today, actually.
Yeah, I am too. And that's such a beautiful way of just explaining the significance of music, because it really, really is powerful. And Brett, I have one more question for you before we wrap up, because not only do you do all of the DJing, of course, but you are also a musician, an accomplished musician. And I understand you're playing more music right now. So tell us about the projects you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of what I'm doing is looking at ways to intersect my different passions, which include songwriting and radio, and also a lot of the community work that I do that I actually don't talk about too much publicly. But as far as like Seneca language revitalization goes, particularly as a parent on the parent committee for the Montessori school out here, but really bringing things like this together. One of the other projects that I had the good fortune of being a part of here in the last year and a half, 2 years, was a SoundCube project that was put on by Virginia Tech. And that was really taking some of this immersive technology that we have now, taking some of the traditional songs. It was a project that Bill Krause, one of the head faith keepers out here on the Allegheny Territory, brought me into, and we were able to bring some fun, innovative techniques into traditional formats. So I'm looking forward to doing things like that as well. Back playing with the family band, my uncle right now, and we got a power trio going on. He's working on some music. I'm working on some music. So I'm really looking forward to what 2026 has to offer.
All right. Well, we have reached the end of our hour, so I want to thank our three guests today, Larry K., Brett Maybe, and Tori J. Join us again next week as we start off running down the top news events affecting Native people in 2025. Our executive producer is Art Hughes. Our producers are Andy Murphy, Sol Traverso, and Joe Thompson. Marino Spencer is the engineer. Special thanks this week to broadcast engineer Van Kraft. Sho McPolin is the digital producer. Nola Daves Moses is the distribution director. Bob Peterson is the network manager for Native Voice One. Clifton Chadwick is our national underwriting sales director. Antonia Gonzalez is the anchor for National Native News. Charles Sather is our chief operations officer. The president and CEO of Koahnic Broadcast Corporation is Jacqueline Salee. Have a safe weekend. I'm Sean Spruce.
Now more than ever, the supporters of this and all Native Voice One programs deserve a little extra love. Learn more about all our public radio underwriters and web-based sponsors at koahnic.org/sponsors-spotlight.
Skugtash. For more than 40 years, Ramona Farms has revived ancient traditional foods, tepary beans, pinoli, polentas, and more, all from store.ramonafarms.com. Ramona Farms supports this show.
Every family caregiver could use help finding the necessary resources to care for their loved one. The AARP Family Caregiver Resource Guide helps family caregivers access key programs, services, and agencies in their communities. A copy of the guide is available by calling 877-333-5885 or online at aarp.org/caregiverresources. AARP supports this show.
Native America Calling is produced in the Annenberg National Native Voice Studios in Albuquerque, New Mexico by Koahnic Broadcast Corporation, a Native nonprofit media organization. Funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting with support from the Public Radio Satellite Service. Music is by Brent Michael Davids. Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.